really like Deshaun, the way he plays. And there's enough there to really like the way Shedeur played at the back end of the year. And there's enough early in the year from Dylan that is playing the position at a very high level. So I don't see it as, I really, it's been brought up a lot more to me than really what I think about, other than, someone's going to have to start off first, and someone's going to go second, and someone's going to go third, and then we'll be willing to switch that.
But he gives kind of a generic comment about Deshaun, a kind of generic comment about Shedeur.
It's not alphabetical.
Hold up. When Todd Monken starts breaking down quarterbacks like that, this isn't just random off-season chatter. This is the type of statement that low-key shakes the locker room, resets the energy, and puts heat on guys who thought their spot was locked. And listen to this, the spotlight is now firmly on Deshaun Watson because Shedeur Sanders isn't moving like a backup anymore.
I think Shedeur has clearly tried to make putting the time in matter, and he chose to be here.
Listen to this. The moment everything flipped didn't come with noise. It wasn't some dramatic scene either. And at first, there wasn't even a headline attached to it. It started quietly at league meetings, inside the building, through little details that slowly connected into a bigger picture. Todd Monken basically sent a message without ever fully spelling it out. Shedeur Sanders has been around. He's been visible. He's been soaking up knowledge. He's been building real connections with the coaching staff. And in a fresh system with a new voice leading it, that carries way more weight than people think. Now hold up. Here's what nobody's really saying out loud. This isn't even about talent at this stage. It's about trust. When a new coach steps into a building, he's not instantly backing the highest paid name. He leans toward the guy proving daily that he's all in. And right now, every signal is pointing straight at Sanders doing just that. He's not even cleared to throw because of off-season rules, and still he's making the loudest impact possible just by showing up, learning the system, and taking in everything.
How they go about it, how they study, how they take care of their body, how they manage our team, how they lead, those are set in stone. Those are non-negotiables.
Meanwhile, hold up. Deshaun Watson's situation feels completely different right now. Yeah, there were reports of him grinding with receivers, staying active, trying to get his rhythm back, but that's not the same as being in the building, learning the system from scratch with the coaches, and building real-time chemistry. And in a moment where everything is getting reset, that gap becomes huge. Now listen, this is where things start getting risky, because Watson is a complete question mark right now. We're not talking about a QB fresh off a dominant season just trying to stay sharp. We're talking about someone who hasn't played consistent football for over a year and a half. There's rust, there's doubt, and there's a clear gap between who he used to be and who he is today. And when you mix that with a hungry young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders quietly doing everything right behind the scenes, now you've got a real competition brewing.
What I don't appreciate is people downplaying the work that Shedeur Sanders is putting in before he, quote unquote, has to. And I'm gonna tell you a few reasons why, and you know me pretty well, so I think it would make sense to you. One of the first things I say.
Listen, Todd Monken didn't crown anybody here. He never came out and said Shedeur Sanders is the starter. He didn't say Deshaun Watson is losing his spot either. But hold up, what he did say carries even more weight. He called it an open competition. And in the NFL, when a coach says that about a high-paid veteran, that's serious. Because open competition means nothing is locked in. It means every rep counts. It means every meeting matters. It means every little impression adds up. This is where young players usually mess it up. They rush to win the job instantly. They try to shine with big plays, flashy throws, or forcing things that aren't there. But Sanders, he's not moving like that. He's going the opposite route. He's locked into the process, learning the system, building trust, staying consistent. And ironically, that's usually the exact formula that wins you the job without ever forcing it.
People are choosing to do their workouts in different places. Obviously, Deshaun's down in Florida working with Jerry Jeudy and other guys. Dylan Gabriel, I'm assuming he's working. He lives in Hawaii. That's really far away. So I'm sure he's like, I'm trying to spend family time while I work out, whatever he wants to do. Shedeur's been pretty clear, though, that he's been trying to put the work in.
This isn't alphabetical. Now, hold up. Let's zoom out for a second.
because this goes way beyond just two quarterbacks. This is really about what the Cleveland Browns are trying to turn into as a franchise. They're coming off a stretch full of inconsistency, frustration, and a lot of unanswered questions. And now, with a new coaching direction, everything is under the microscope. Not just the quarterback position, but the identity, the culture, and the long-term vision. You can see it in their draft approach, not forcing a quarterback pick. There's a real chance they focus on building around whoever wins this job. Wide receivers, offensive line upgrades, and overall depth are all in play. And listen, that tells you something big. The Browns aren't desperate for a quarterback right now. They're willing to evaluate what they already have in Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders first. And listen, that's what makes this whole battle even more intense, because this isn't just about winning a starting spot for one season. This could shape the future of the Cleveland Browns for the next few years. If Deshaun Watson takes it and gets back to form, the Browns can build around him and finally justify that massive investment. But hold up, if Shedeur Sanders wins, everything flips. That would mean a fifth-round pick just outworked and outperformed a franchise QE, and that would send shockwaves across the league. Now here's what nobody's really saying. Locker rooms see everything. Players notice who's showing up. They notice who's putting in real work. They notice who stays consistent. And over time, they start deciding who they actually trust. If Sanders keeps moving like this, he's not just competing with Watson in the coach's eyes, he's competing in the eyes of the entire locker room.
To say this, I know we believe that in utopian sports world, but that's not true. Paychecks decide who plays first.
Oh, well, usually. Maybe not in this situation here. We'll find out. And he said where you start isn't necessarily where you finish, so...
And listen, once that shift hits, it's almost impossible to undo. Because football isn't just about schemes and playbooks. It's about belief. It's about who the team truly rallies behind. And if a young QB earns that trust, it can flip the entire locker room dynamic overnight. At the same time, hold up. Deshaun Watson still has the advantage in experience. He's played in big moments. He's shown elite-level ability before. And if he finds that rhythm again, this battle could end fast. That's what makes this so interesting. It's not just veteran versus rookie. It's proven upside going head-to-head with real-time momentum.
I would say this doesn't have to become a Shedeur versus Dylan thing, is my main point in this. Like, it doesn't have to be, well, look what Shedeur's doing versus look what Dylan's doing, look what Shedeur's doing what he wants to do for his work. He wants to be here for it. I think that's great. I think Dylan, we can't assume anything when it comes to what he's doing in the offseason.
Now listen, let's zoom out and really see what's happening across the league, because this Cleveland Browns situation is part of a much bigger shift. Teams are running out of patience when it comes to uncertainty at quarterback. Look how fast franchises are ready to pivot, reset, or gamble on something new. The Miami Dolphins are reshaping everything, moving off established names and leaning into a fresh direction with Malik Willis. The Buffalo Bills are going all in fixing defensive flaws just to stay alive in a stacked AFC led by guys like Josh Allen. Now hold up, here's what nobody's really saying. The AFC doesn't wait around. If your quarterback situation isn't clear, you get left behind. It's that simple. And right now, the Browns are one of the few teams still searching for answers. That's exactly why this competition matters so much. It's not just internal pressure. It's about keeping pace in a conference loaded with elite talent. And this is where it gets risky. If Cleveland gets this wrong, it could set them back for years. But if they nail it, everything speeds up instantly. That's the gamble. That's the upside. And that's why every move, every decision, every performance this offseason is under a microscope. Todd Monken plays a massive role in all of this. He's not tied to Deshaun Watson. He didn't bring him in. He didn't build this roster around him. His only job is to win. And if Shedeur Sanders gives him even a slightly better shot, that's the direction he could take. Coaches don't last by protecting contracts. They last by making the right calls. Now listen, this is where young players usually slip up. They assume another opportunity will come if they miss this one. But in the NFL, nothing is promised. Sanders looks like he understands that, attacking this like it might be his only shot. And that mindset is powerful. Then you got the legacy angle, and this is where it gets real. For Watson, this is about redemption. This is about proving he's still that elite level player people once believed in. If he loses this job or struggles again, it reshapes how his entire career is viewed. For Sanders, this is pure opportunity. This is about turning a late round pick into something much bigger. This is about proving that preparation, discipline, and consistency can beat draft position and expectations. And if he actually pulls this off, it becomes one of the most compelling stories in the league. So now we're at the real question. Who do you trust more? The veteran with a proven ceiling but recent doubts, or the young QB who hasn't shown it on the field yet but is doing everything right behind the scenes? Because this isn't just a storyline anymore. This is a real battle already in motion.